listen to me. Don't move, don't scroll, don't blink. I need you locked in. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to wake something up inside you. Because this right here, this ain't just a speech. This is a mirror. And by the time we're done, you're going to have to look yourself in that mirror and answer one question. Are you living the life you were created for, or just the one you settle for? You owe it to yourself to hear every word of this. Why? Because your future is on the line. Your potential, your peace, your purpose, it's all hanging in the balance. And I refuse to let you walk away from your greatness because you got comfortable. You didn't come this far to stay average. If you're tired of watching everybody else rise while you're still stuck in the same place, then keep listening. If you know deep down there's more in you than what you've been showing the world, then this one's for you. Feel this, because by the end, I promise, you're going to remember who you are. You've been looking outside yourself for too long, waiting for somebody to call your name, pat you on the back, tell you you're good enough. You've been chasing applause, chasing acceptance, when the truth is you were already chosen. The moment you were born, purpose was assigned to your life. You were created with something special in you. But somewhere along the way, life made you forget that. And I get it. I know what it's like to grow up in an environment where nobody sees the gold in you. I know what it's like to look in the mirror and not even recognize your own value. But let me tell you something. Just because they couldn't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Just because they didn't celebrate you doesn't mean you're not worthy of celebration. You've been undervaluing yourself because you've been measuring your worth through the wrong lenses. You've been trying to prove yourself to people who were never qualified to judge you in the first place. You owe it to yourself to stop shrinking. You owe it to yourself to stop second guessing what God already put in you. You keep asking, am I good enough? You keep wondering if you're built for this. Let me settle it for you right now. You are. You're more than good enough. The reason your heart's still breathing, the reason your heart's still beating is because there's still something in you the world hasn't seen yet. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need anybody to co-sign your purpose. You were born approved, born worthy, born with the right to grow, to evolve, to win. But see, if you don't believe that, if you keep waiting for someone else to validate it, you'll waste your whole life playing small in rooms you were meant to own. You'll keep handing your power over to fear, to rejection, to people who don't even know your story. I'm telling you, recognize your own worth. Own it. Feel it. Wake up to it. You've been too humble with your gifts. You've been too casual with your calling. And I'm not saying walk around arrogant. I'm saying walk around aware. Aware that you've been chosen for something bigger than survival. You're not here just to exist, to pay bills and die. Nah, you're here to make a dent in the earth. You're here to shift atmospheres, break cycles, change bloodlines. But it starts with how you see yourself. You keep looking at what you don't have. You keep saying, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm telling you, you have everything you need to start. You might not be at the finish line, but you've got the breath to move forward. You've got the fire to take the next step. You've got the story, the pain, the struggle, the comeback. All of that is part of your power. That's your fuel, not your failure. Stop discrediting your own journey. Stop comparing your day one to somebody else's chapter 10. They didn't walk through what you walked through. They didn't cry the tears you cried. They didn't battle the demons you've had to fight off just to stand here. So how dare you act like your life isn't meaningful? You made it this far, and that alone should tell you something. You didn't survive for nothing. You didn't endure just to be average. You owe it to yourself to see that, to respect that, to stop settling. You keep giving away your energy to things that don't build you. You keep showing up for people who wouldn't notice if you disappeared. But you won't show up for you. That ends today. From now on, you fight for you. You get up for you. You believe for you. No more waiting on applause. No more waiting on opportunities to fall from the sky. You are the opportunity. You owe it to yourself to act like you matter, because you do. Your voice matters. Your dream matters. Your life matters. And I don't care how many times you fell off. I don't care how long you've been stuck. Today is still a good day to start. Still a good day to bet on you. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to believe again. Believe in the you that's been buried under years of fear, doubt, and delay. Believe in the you that's been waiting to be unleashed. You owe it to yourself to stop living like a mistake and start walking like a miracle. You've been listening to the wrong voices for too long. That voice in your head, the one that keeps telling you you're not ready, not qualified, not smart enough, not built for this, that voice is lying to you. And the crazy part is, it doesn't even sound like a lie anymore. You've heard it so much, it started sounding like truth, but just because it's loud doesn't mean it's right. Just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's supposed to stay. See, what you feed grows. If you keep feeding doubt, it'll grow. If you keep feeding fear, it'll grow. But if you start feeding truth, confidence, discipline, identity, that's what will grow. You owe it to yourself to stop letting lies live rent-free in your mind. You keep letting insecurity have the microphone. You keep giving your past to say in your future. You keep replaying old wounds, old mistakes, old failures like they define who you are today. But you are not your past. You are not your worst decision. You are not the voice of your trauma. You are not the echo of somebody else's opinion. You owe it to yourself to take control of your mental real estate. I'm serious. You got to fight for your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. Your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions shape your future. So if the enemy can get in your head, he doesn't have to stop you. You'll do it for him. You'll sabotage your own breakthrough. You'll pull back right when it's time to go all in. You'll convince yourself that what you've been dreaming of isn't worth pursuing. You've been paralyzed by opinions, trapped by judgment. And let's be real, you've even let people who gave up on their own dreams talk you out of yours. You've allowed their limitations to become your boundaries, but they don't live with your vision. They weren't in the room when God whispered purpose into your soul. They don't carry your calling. So why do they get so much control? You owe it to yourself to protect your focus. You owe it to yourself to speak truth over your own life daily. Every morning you wake up, you need to declare who you are before the world tries to define it for you. Before the day even begins, you got to armor up with truth. I'm talking, I am enough. I am chosen. I am powerful. I am disciplined. I am not my past. I am not my failure. I am not broken. I'm becoming. If you don't speak life over yourself, the world will speak death. That's real. The world will tell you you're too young or too old, too late or too early. It'll tell you to fit in, play it safe, stay quiet, don't try too hard, don't aim too high. But the world doesn't get to write your story. You do. You have to be louder than the lies. You got to drown out the noise with truth. And I'm not talking fake hype or empty motivation. I'm talking deep-rooted, blood-earned, undeniable truth about who you are and what you're here to do. You've got a calling that can't be canceled by criticism. You've got a destiny that isn't up for debate. But if you don't believe that, you'll keep hesitating. You'll keep playing defense when you were built for offense. You'll keep walking around like a victim when you were born to be a warrior. You got to train your mind like a champion. You got to guard your thoughts like they're sacred, because they are. You can't afford to entertain every negative thing that comes your way. You can't afford to sit in rooms where people don't believe in you. You can't afford to absorb energy that drains your purpose. You got to choose your circle wisely. You got to create your environment. You got to audit your self-talk. Why? Because your life is following your language. You owe it to yourself to start speaking different. Stop saying I can't. Stop saying what if I fail, and start saying what if I win. Stop saying I'm not ready and start saying I'm built for this. Change your words and your world will follow. You may not have control over everything, but you do have control over what you say to yourself. And that's where the shift begins. You owe it to yourself to stop giving fear the front seat. You've been letting fear drive your decisions, your relationships, your dreams. But fear is a liar. Fear is a thief. It will rob you of everything beautiful in your life if you let it. You got to stand up to it. Look it in the face and say, you don't get to decide how this ends. Not today, not ever. Because you're not weak, you're not small, you're not broken beyond repair. You've got power in your mind, fire in your soul, and something in you that this world desperately needs. But it won't come out until you stop letting lies control you. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's necessary. I'm saying the real battle isn't out there, it's in here. It's in how you think when nobody's watching. It's in the silent wars you fight at night. It's in whether you choose to believe the truth or collapse under the lie. And you can't afford to lose that battle anymore. Not when your future's on the line. Not when your calling's calling your name every single day. You owe it to yourself to stop letting the lie be louder than the truth. You keep waiting for the perfect moment to show up. You keep waiting to feel ready, waiting for the pain to go away, waiting for the storm to pass. Let me tell you something. It don't work like that. Growth don't come when it's comfortable. Progress don't show up when everything's going smooth. Nah, growth shows up in the fire. Greatness is born when everything in you wants to quit, but something deeper in you decides, I'm showing up anyway. You want to win, but you only want to show up when it feels good. You want to succeed, but you only move when you're motivated. Listen to me. Motivation is a moment. Discipline is a decision. You can't live your life based on what you feel. Feelings change. Some mornings you're going to wake up and not feel like grinding. Some days you'll feel empty, drained, invisible. Show up anyway. Because the real ones don't just move when it's easy. They move when it's hard. The champions, they show up broken. They show up tired. They show up scared. But they show up. You owe it to yourself to be consistent even when it's not convenient. You think success is built on big dramatic moments? Nah. Success is built on repetition. On the days you don't post, but still create. On the days you don't shine, but still serve. On the days nobody's clapping for you and you clap for yourself. That's where greatness is born. In silence, in struggle, in sweat that nobody sees. You keep looking for the crowd, but what if nobody ever claps? What if no one ever sees you grinding at 3 a.m. What if you do everything right and still go unnoticed for a season? Will you still show up? You owe it to yourself to say yes, because it's not about recognition. It's about responsibility. You were given this gift. You were given this vision. And whether anybody sees it or not, it's yours to carry. And if you drop it every time it gets heavy, you'll never grow strong enough to lift what's coming next. Stop expecting results without resilience. Stop hoping for elevation without endurance. You want the mountain, but you don't want the climb. But listen, the climb is what makes the mountain worth it. You don't build character on the mountaintop. You build it on the way up. When you're slipping, when your legs are shaking, when your lungs are burning, but you keep going anyway. That's where the growth lives. That's where your power is developed. You've been praying for the next level, but you've been hiding from the pressure. That pressure is part of the process. Diamonds don't form in comfort. Gold don't rise without fire. So if you feel like you're in the heat, if you feel like life is testing you, stretching you, breaking you, it's not punishment. It's preparation. You're being developed for something bigger than where you are right now. But you can't reach that level if you keep ghosting your own goals. You can't win the fight you won't show up for. You keep waiting for confidence, but confidence comes from commitment. You want strength? Show up. You want clarity? Show up. You want breakthrough? Show up. Even when your heart's not in it, even when your mind is clouded, even when the doubt screams louder than your faith, show up anyway. Because every time you do, you're building something inside you. Every time you press through, you're stacking discipline. You're stacking belief. You're proving to yourself that you're more than your feelings. You're bigger than your fear. You're stronger than your excuses. And I know what it's like to want to disappear. I know what it's like to want to stay in bed, to silence the alarm, to say, what's the point? But that's exactly the moment you've got to move. That's when it matters most. Because anybody can show up when they feel good. Anybody can grind when the momentum is high. But the real ones, the ones who finish, the ones who leave legacy, they show up in the dark. They show up when it hurts. They show up when nobody claps. They show up when everything inside them is begging to quit. You owe it to yourself to be one of those people. You owe it to yourself to look in the mirror and say, I may not have it all together, but I'm here, I'm present, I'm fighting, and I'm not going anywhere. You owe it to the future version of you who's counting on this moment right now. You owe it to the people watching you, your kids, your circle, your community, because whether you know it or not, somebody's looking at you, hoping you don't give up so they won't either. You want to change your life? Keep showing up. Even when your emotions don't match your vision. Even when the world says you're crazy. Even when your progress feels slow, keep showing up. Because every small step is sacred. Every hard day is holy. Every moment you refuse to quit is a seed being planted. And one day it's going to grow into something bigger than you imagine. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. You just need to show up like your life depends on it, because it does. Let me say this loud and clear. You owe it to yourself to finish. I'm not talking about just starting something. Anybody can start. Anybody can get hyped at the beginning, talk big, make plans, dream dreams. But the truth is, most people don't finish. They fall off. They get distracted. They quit when it gets uncomfortable. But not you. You didn't come this far just to start. You didn't fight through everything you fought through just to quit halfway up the mountain. You've been carrying this dream, this calling, this mission, and you're tired, I know. You've been showing up when nobody was cheering. You've been grinding in silence. You've cried behind closed doors, wondering if it's even worth it. And the voice in your head keeps asking, why am I doing this? The answer is simple, because you owe it to yourself to finish what you started. You've sacrificed too much to let it all go now. All the hours, all the sweat, all the pain. It has to mean something. This isn't just about crossing a finish line. This is about proving to yourself that you're not a quitter. You're not the kind of person who runs when it gets rough. You're not the kind of person who gives up because it's taking longer than expected. You're the kind of person who finishes, period. I need you to get this deep down. Every time you finish something, you unlock a new level of belief. It's not about the outcome. It's about the completion. It's about the discipline. It's about the follow through. You keep asking for confidence, but confidence is built by closing loops, by finishing things, by keeping your word to yourself. And that's the part right there. You've been breaking promises to yourself. You tell yourself, this is my year. You tell yourself, I'm going to get in shape. You tell yourself, I'm going to write the book, build the business, restore the relationship, grow in my faith, but then you stop. You start hot, but you fizzle out. You talk yourself out of it. You let fear creep in. You let comfort seduce you. And every time you stop short, every time you quit early, you chip away at your own trust. You keep thinking the world doesn't believe in you, but the real problem is you don't believe in you. And how could you? You haven't been finishing. You've been starting and stopping, and now you don't trust your own momentum. So today, that stops. Today you draw a line in the sand and say, I finish what I start. You don't need more motivation. You need to make a decision that says no matter what it costs me, I finish. I don't care if it takes longer than I thought. I don't care if nobody's clapping. I don't care if I feel like I'm crawling toward the goal. I will cross that line. You owe that to yourself. You owe that to the younger version of you who prayed for this opportunity. You owe it to the future version of you who's waiting on the other side of completion. Finishing builds character. Finishing builds momentum. Finishing builds identity. You don't become a finisher by accident. You become a finisher on purpose. When it gets hard, you stay in it. When it gets slow, you stay focused. When your feelings try to hijack your future, you stay faithful. You tell your feelings, you don't get a vote. My purpose is driving this car now. Some of y'all are one decision away from a breakthrough, but you keep delaying it. You keep saying next month, when things settle down, when I have more time, when I feel more ready. But life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Growth doesn't wait for convenience. You have to choose to finish now. Imperfect, uncertain, scared, but still moving. And don't get it twisted. Finishing doesn't always mean winning. It doesn't always mean a trophy or a paycheck or applause. Sometimes finishing just means you stayed in the fight. You stayed loyal to the process. You didn't let fear rob you.